we're going to finish up R4. Okay, we did addition of polynomials, subtraction, we did multiplication. So what do you think is next? Division. Exactly right. So let's do division. All right. So we are going to do, I got to get my pen to work. There we go. Well, it's still not. There we go. All right. So we are going to do division of polynomials. All right. Let's start off with an elementary school. I don't know. When did you learn division? Second, third grade, something like that? Like, remember long division, fifth grade? Okay. Fifth grade, I don't know. I can't remember. I never taught those grades, so I have no idea. All right, so anyway, let's do a long division problem. Here it is. Everybody write this down.
Will I stand up?
You may. You can just stand up. You don't have to ask me. All right, so divide 842 by... Oh, you want to see that? You can't see that?
No.
Yeah. Now, I did send a picture of the model of our projector to our principal, and so hopefully he'll order a bulb for us, and I hope that's the problem. And so it was a bulb issue? Okay, hopefully we'll get a new bulb, and that'll be good. All right, so what if it says this? Here we go. I always got confused, which one, I call it the box. Do you remember long division? Okay, this is inside the box, this is outside the box, okay? So I always got confused which one went in the box, okay? Yes. Do you have your book? All right. Wait till Matt comes back. All right, so which one goes in the box right here? The 842, we're dividing by 15. If you want, you could look at it like this as well. 842 divided by 15. There's another way to look at it. You could say, you could say 842 divided by 15 like this. Would you agree that they're all the same thing? All right, so when you see it like this, I always remember this. I don't know if you heard this before. I always remember box top. Okay, so the top one always goes in the box. You ever hear that before? I just remember box top. It's easy. So I remember when I was a kid, I was learning how to do this. I could never remember which one goes inside, which one goes outside. My teacher said box top. And so the top one goes in the box. So 842 goes in here, and 15 goes out here. I mean, you could talk about like the divisor and the dividend and the quotient and all that kind of stuff. But, students don't remember that kind of stuff. That's what I've noticed. So 842 goes in the box. So let's do this division together, because we're gonna transfer this to polynomials. All right, so the same steps are true with this as they will be with polynomials. All right, so it's very important that you watch this. I want to get my numbers all right here. Okay, so 15, does it go into 8? No, but it does go into what? 84. It might not go evenly, but how many times does 15 go into 84? It goes 5 times. Ugh. Right in the middle of my teaching. Pick a better time to go to the bathroom next time.
My bad.
No, it doesn't just happen. You know it's coming. You know. All right, so anyway, 5 times. 15 times 5 is 75. And we subtract right there. That's super important. Everybody watching? I know this may sound like it's elementary school, and it kind of is, but it's going to help us with problems that are going to be a lot more complicated. So really watch what's going on. So we say 15 times 5. We multiply those together. We put it here, and then we subtract. Everybody with me? So now we go 84 minus 75, which is 9. Now, 15 doesn't divide into 9. If it did, then we'd have to make this go a little bit bigger. So what do we do with this 2? Drop it down. Your teachers ever do that? Put a little arrow there. Maybe you still do that. That's fine. It's perfectly fine. We're going to do that when we do the polynomials. We're going to put that arrow down like that. So you put the 2 right here. Now you got to do the same process over again. You want to ask yourself, how many times does 15 divide into 92? It may not go evenly, but how many times does it divide into 92? it goes 6 times, okay? And if you want to use a calculator, don't use a calculator for the 842 divided by 15 because I'm just showing you the process. It's not a matter of getting this answer. It's showing you the process because you won't be able to use your calculator when you do these polynomials. It's impossible. All right, so I want to show you the process here where they say trust the what? Trust the process. Okay, so here we go. So 15 times 6 is what? 90. We subtract it. Don't forget that subtraction right there. All right, and then we subtract. You get a 2. There's nothing else to bring down, is there? So what do we call this thing? Our remainder. Okay, a lot when you're a little kid, what do? They put remainder 2. But then you get older, what do? It's 2 over 15. Very good. So that's your answer right there. It's 56 and 2/15. Okay, you're welcome. So that is how you do an elementary school. Literally, I'm not trying to, downgrade us or anything, but literally that's an elementary school kind of problem, isn't it? 4th, 5th grade, something like that. Yeah. Keep that in mind. In fact, I'm gonna grab it, move it down. See, this is something you couldn't do on a whiteboard. Tell you what, I'm just gonna move it down, put it right there. I'm gonna put it off to the side a little bit. I think I could shrink it too. Let me see if I can do this. Oh, look at that. Isn't that awesome? I am a magician. Wow. Either being very sarcastic or very... All right. So now what we're going to do, this is where it gets interesting. Let me check what time we get out of here. So 50. All right. I got time to do this. So now, watch this problem. I'm going to write this down. You write it down. You like that? Okay. It's better to see. All right. Sorry. So we're going to divide 3, if I could see, 3x cubed plus 4x squared. You're writing this down, right? It's in the book, too. If you can't see it on the screen, I don't know. Look for it. It's R.4. Look for division. You can find it. By x squared plus 1.
This is Cass ready for 7th grade photos. So 7th grade, and teachers, please make your way down to the studio lobby. Please remember to bring your order form.
All right, so here we go. Which one goes in the box? That first one, right? Because that goes on top, right? Top box, box top. Okay, so we're going to put that inside of here. So you're like, what in the world's going on? I've never seen a division problem like this. Well, you probably have. You probably did this in Algebra 2. Did you do this in Algebra 2? You didn't?
No. Wait, don't you have like a little V on the side of that box?
A V?
Yeah.
Like, no, that's a square root. Yeah, that's square root. That's different. A lot of times, sometimes they write it with a little curve thing right there.
Yeah.
I don't write the curve. I just put a straight up and down thing. Okay? All right, now, let's watch. And I have this over to the side for a reason. Remember what we do. We take that 15, we say how many times does it go into that first number over here. Now, over here, we're not going to look at the whole entire x squared plus 1. What we're going to do is just look at the variable in the exponent. What we want to do is say how many times does x squared divide into 3x cubed? You're like, I don't know what that means. Well, basically, what did you do over here? Basically, you did 84 divided by 15, didn't you? When I said, how many times does 15 divide into 84? That's what you're doing, isn't it? 84 divided by 15, and it's 5 and some remainder, correct? So what do you think we're going to do over here then? Instead of 84 divided by 15, we're going to take what? No, we took 84. That's the thing in the box. So what's in the box here? What's the first thing in the box? 3x cubed. And we want to find out how many times, forget the plus 1 right now, okay? Just look at the x squared. How many times does x squared divide into, do you see that? How many times does x squared divide into 3x cubed? What do you think, Cameron?
3 to the first power.
Well, it's close. 3 times x to the first power. Right, 3x to the first power. See what I just did? Isn't that the same kind of thing that I did over here? Obviously, it's a little different because you got variables, you got exponents, but it's basically the same thing. We basically took 84 divided by 15, and we tried to find that round number that it would divide into, right? And it went 5 times with a little bit of remainder, right? With a 9 as a remainder. Now, right here, we'd said, how many times does x squared divide into 3x cubed? And then we did our work on there. So 3, right? You got a 1 down here. So 3 over 1 is 3. X cubed over x squared is just x, right? What I like to look at it like this. I got 2 x's down here. Cancels with how many x's up here? 2. And how many am I left with? Just 1. So it's 3x. You see that? It's just a division problem. Yeah? We good? Or you could just subtract the exponents. 3 minus 2 is 1. You could look at it that way as well. All right? So what did we do over here? We said, how many times does 15 go into 84? 5 times, right? We stuck it up front. How many times does x squared divide into 3x cubed? How many times? 3x times. Where do we put it? Up top. See how it mimics this problem right here? Okay. Now what did we do over here? We went 15 times 5, and then we subtracted it. So what do you think we're going to do over here? We're going to take this whole thing and multiply it by 3x. Very good. All right. We went 15 times 5 is 75. We put it here and we subtract it. Over here, it's the same deal. We're going to take this whole thing, multiply it by 3x, and then we're going to subtract it from this stuff right here. All right. So how do I'm going to put a parentheses because I got 2 things here, and I got to go 3x times both of these things now. We good? All right, so we should be able to do that in our head. And I'm going to put a minus. Now, this is very important. I didn't put a parentheses here around that 75, but on this, I'm going to because I've got more than one term I'm going to get. All right, so it's important that you're subtracting the whole thing. We'll do a couple of these, all right? If we have time, we'll do 3 of them. I think I have 3 of them to do. So the first time you do this, it's really weird. It's really crazy. But you know the first time I ever saw this? I was in calculus in college, my freshman year, and the teacher went up there. He says, he's doing all this stuff. He says, okay, then we got to divide these polynomials. And everybody's looking at each other. And the teacher looked at us, the professor looked at us. He's like, you guys haven't seen this before? And everybody's like, no, we've never seen this before. So now you're in high school, you've seen this before, right? So that you can be prepared for it if you do it later, all right? This was just one little part of a bigger calculus problem, okay? So this is not an end-all, be-all thing, but it's a little part of something you may do possibly some other time. All right, let's multiply. We should be able to do this in our head. It's distributive. 3x times everything in here. So 3x times x cubed is 3. I'm sorry, I gave it away. 3x times x squared is 3x cubed. Keep going. Plus just 3x, that's right. Oh, okay. They usually give you an easier one. If I put a 3x, I'm not going to be able to subtract 4x squared from somebody get the door, please. I'm not going to be able to subtract 3x from a 4x squared, am I? Where am I going to have to put that? I'm going to have to put that right there. That's a little bit tricky. They kind of fooled you a little bit. All right, I'm going to have to put that right there. If you want, let me see. If you want, you could put a 0x squared right there. Usually in an Algebra 1 or Algebra 2 book, they wouldn't give you a problem quite this difficult, but this is their first example, so this is one they give us. Sorry. Should have picked one that was a little bit easier, but anyway, you get the idea. So watch, we're going to keep going, so just pay attention. You could always rewind this and look at it at home. So now, what did we do with that 75? After I went 15 times 5 is 75 and I subtracted, I actually do the subtraction and I put it right here. So let's actually do the subtraction. 3x cubed minus 3x cubed is what? 0. Let's do the next one. 4x squared minus 0x squared. What's 4 minus 0? 4x squared. We got more we can add up, can't we? We got this right here. We got x minus 3x. So it's 1x minus 3x. What's 1 minus 3? Negative 2x. You with me on that? All right. I'm not going to bring that down Yeah, maybe I can. Let's do that. Let's bring this down. Remember we did that too? We brought it down. Bring that down. It's a +7, so we put a +7. And now we repeat the process. So we ask ourselves, this x squared, how many times does x squared divide evenly into 4x squared? If you need to come over here off to the side, go ahead and do it. So 4x squared over what? X squared, okay? So 4x squared divided by x squared, what's that? No, it's not 4x. You got an x squared on top, x squared on the bottom. 4, it's 4, it's just 4. Just plain old number 4. Because if you did the subtraction rule, right, it's x to the 2 minus 2. What's 2 minus 2? 0. What's x to the 0? 1. All right, you could look at it that way. Or I just look at it. Look, it's the same thing on the top as it is on the bottom. They just cancel each other out. That's how most students like to look at it. So that's 4. What do we do with that 4? Well, same thing we did here. How many times does 15 go into 92? 6 times. How many times does x squared go into 4x squared? 4 times. Let's see where I put the, I'll put the 4 right here. Okay? Now, what did we do when we stuck that 6 up there? We went 6 times 15 is 90, and then we subtracted. What do you think we're going to do here? X squared plus 1 times 4, and then we're going to subtract it from this. You with me? All right, so let's do it. So just take the 4 and multiply it by this thing right here. So what do we get? 4 times x squared is 4x squared. Okay? Now, we don't have any x's, do we? So I'm going to put a plus 0x since I don't have any x's. And let's do the next one. 4 times 1 is 4, so I put plus 4. With me? All right. So 4x squared minus 4x squared, that's 0. I don't even need to put that down. All right. What about this one? Negative 2x minus 0. It's just negative 2x, right? Now watch carefully. It's 7 minus 4. 7 minus 4 is 3 plus 3. Now, does x squared divide evenly into negative 2x? No, because does x squared divide evenly? It doesn't come out. It comes out to a fraction, doesn't it? It's 2 over x. So that's not what we want. So that doesn't work. So we are finished. So the 2 is our remainder over here. So what's our remainder on this one? Negative 2x plus 3. Okay? So what we're going to do, I'm going to put a plus. And then I'm going to put negative 2x plus 3 over, what did we do over here? Our remainder was 2, so we put it over whatever we were dividing by. So put it over x squared plus 1. Now that looks ugly, I agree, but that's how you do it. Right there. You didn't do this in Algebra 2? Really? All right, that's all right. Now you did it, right? So now you feel like life is complete since you've done a long division problem. All right, we got 10 minutes. Let's do at least one more, okay? Here we go. Divide. Yeah. It will not be on the quiz. What did I say was on the quiz? Just the geometry. Just the R.4 from geometry. That's the only thing on the quiz. All right? We discussed that earlier. Got to listen. All right, this is not going to be on this quiz. It'll eventually be on a quiz, but not this quiz on Monday. All right, so divide x to the 4th minus 3x cubed plus 2x. Now let's do this. Do you see how they skip from x cubed to 2x? Yeah. It might be easier. What did we leave out here? What exponent did we leave out? An x squared. So let's put that in there. But how do I just stick that in there? By making it a 0x squared. You see that? So if you're missing one, if it's not in all complete order, it's a good idea to throw that in there. I think that's a good idea. And then minus 5. And we're going to divide that by, watch this crazy thing, and then plus 1. All right, oops, what happened there? Oh, why does it do that? I think I push a button or something. on the pen. What did I say it was? Plus what? 1. I wish they wouldn't put those buttons on here. All right, let's do this. So what's on the outside? X squared minus x plus 1. And then let's do our little division box thing. And let's put all this junk in here. I should just copy and paste it. Let's do that just for time's sake. And just because I can. Look at that. Can't do that on your paper, can you?
No.
All right, so there we go. So I'm going to use some room over here to do that little division stuff. You might be able to do that in your head at some point, but right now, we'll see what we got. So let's do this. We want to find out, let's just take a look at that first term. I don't care about the negative x plus 1 just yet. Jordan, you watching? Christian, you watching? Okay, seems like you've been looking that way. I don't know what's over there, but... All right, well, board's up here. All right, so here we go. So we got x squared, and we want to find out how many times does x squared go into x to the 4th. If you need to, come over here and say x to the 4th divided by x squared. What is that? Well, it's not twice. It doesn't go twice, no. It goes x squared times. That's right, it goes x squared times. Remember how you check a fraction? Take a look at this, multiply it by this, and it should be the top. Agreed? Yeah, so watch. Watch, 12 divided by 3. What's 12 divided by 3? It's 4. How do I check to see if that's right? 4 times 3 should be 12, correct? All right, so that's something to think about. All right, so that's x squared. So how many times does x squared go into x to the 4th? X squared times. What do? We multiply and then we subtract. I'm going to go a little bit quick here. So if you need to watch the video and rewind, go ahead. But I'm running out of time, so I got to go a little faster. So we multiply the x squared by this whole entire thing. Not just by the x squared, but by everything here. All right? So I've got x to the 4th. X squared minus x is minus 3x cubed. I'm sorry, not 3. What am I doing? It's just minus x cubed. I saw that up there. And then plus x squared. See, that's why we put that 0x squared right here, so that I have something to subtract it from. See what I did? Just multiplied everything in here by x squared. That's all I did. Now I'm subtracting. X to the 4th minus x to the 4th is 0. Now this could be a little complicated, this next one. Negative 3 minus a negative. Let's write this off to the side. Negative 3 minus negative 1. What happens to that minus negative 1? It's positive. So what's negative 3 plus 1? It's negative 2. And then what's my term? X cubed. See what I just did there? So it's negative minus a negative. So that minus a negative is a plus. Negative 3, remember that's a 1 in front of there. So it's negative 3 plus 1, which is negative 2x cubed. All right, let's drop this down. Okay, so we're going to add these up. Or actually, I'm sorry, we're not dropping it down yet. That's the next step. So 0x squared minus 1x squared. What's 0 minus 1? It's negative 1. 0 minus 1 is negative 1. So let's not put a plus there. A little premature. Let's put a minus 1x squared. Now we can drop down the next thing. So put a plus 2x. Now we go through the routine again. We say, how many times does x squared divide into this next thing right here? Negative 3x cubed. So let's do it off to the side. Negative 3x cubed over x squared. What is that? It's not negative 2. It's negative 3 divided by 1. What's that? It's just negative 3. What's x cubed divided by x squared? I got 2 x's down here and I got 3 up here. It's just an x, right? You're just left with an x. All right, that's a little scary. You don't know how to do this. That should be an Algebra 1 principle. So it's x cubed divided by x squared, which is just an x. So it's negative 3x. So we put a negative 3x right here. And now we multiply and then we'll subtract. Let's multiply. Negative 3x times negative 3x squared is negative 3x cubed. Did I do that right? Wait a minute. What did I do wrong? Negative 2x cubed minus x squared plus 2x. That's right. Oh, that's my fault. My fault. Do you remember? This is what I did. I was going like, how many times does 15 go into like 42? You don't do that. You look at the number down here. How many times does 15 go into 92, right? So that was my bad. So I want to find out. Sorry about that, the confusion there. Let's try that again. Come on. There we go. All right, so how many times does x squared go into negative 2x cubed? I'm sorry about that. So we'll forget I said any of that. So it's negative 2x cubed. How many times does x squared go into that? Well, negative 2 times. All right? So negative 2x times. Because x squared divided by, or x cubed divided by x squared is x. So it's negative 2x times. Sorry about that. All right, so let's go ahead and multiply now. So I've got negative 2 times all this stuff right here. So it's negative 2x cubed. And then it's negative 2 times negative x. What's negative 2 times negative? It's a positive 2x squared. And then negative 2 times positive 1 is a minus 2x. And now let's subtract, and we'll bring down the next number. Negative 2 minus a negative is plus. That goes to 0. Negative 1x squared minus 2. What's negative 1 minus 2? Negative 3x squared. And now I have 2 minus a negative. Minus a negative is plus, so 2 plus 2 is 4x. Bring down the next number. And now, we still got to, well, we almost have a minute. So hang on just a second, okay, before you dismiss. Don't leave when the bell rings. Just hang on for like another minute. You'll be good. So now, how many times does x squared divide into negative 3x squared? It would go negative 3 times. Don't leave. Don't stand up. I just said, just hang on for a second. I know the bell rang. I dismiss you, not the bell. So it's negative 3x squared plus 3x and then minus 3. Subtract. That's a 0. 4 minus 3 is a 1x. Negative 5 plus 3 is going to be negative 2. That is your remainder. So you got plus x minus 2 over, I know it's a lot, but I promise you, you need to go through YouTube, and you need to make sure you go to YouTube and watch it carefully, watch it slowly, rewind it, and all that kind of stuff. Your homework. It's page 49, and it's 89 to 103 odds. It's on RenWeb, and it's section R.4, part 3. All right, it's on RenWeb, it's on YouTube now, so there's no reason to not know. All right, let me stop recording.